So it's a Thursday, we're getting into property speaking. Last week, we get a message from a listener, right? And this listener says, listen, I just came into a large sum of money. I'm moneyed. It's all the way to the bank and I'm smiling and all of that. I'm getting advice left, right, and center. One of the advice that I got, someone is saying to me, maybe I should look into buying property and leasing it out for students. So he or she wants to find out whether, this could be a good idea or not. And we're like, listen, we got you. Philip's coming into the studio on Thursday. Property speaking, and that day is today. Broken owner of REMAX, Philip Skuman. Morning, Philip. You good?
Morning, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it must be really nice getting a large sum of money in this economy, and this listener saying, I'm considering property. That's the advice that I'm getting. Is it sound advice that he's getting to look into, investing into something that he can lease out for students?
So yes, and I think let me say that I think that it differs from person to person, largely based on what your long-term investment horizon is, what your planning is, and what your estate planning is, and also what is considered a large sum of money.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When it comes to property, larger sums of money are applicable. So, it is sound advice, but depends. Let me use an example. A client calls me last week, 2 weeks ago, said he wants to sell his property for $8.
Okay.
Okay. I'm like, sure, buddy. What qualifies this for $8? Because I'm not even selling it buildings for $8. So what qualifies this? So he says to me he's generating an income of 80 grand a month. So before we go even further, I can tell you now it's illegal and usifying the property. Renting more than what you should have, that's just not legal. So the municipality is probably going to fine you. He says, they already did. I'm like, you see. So how do you want me to sell this to a prospective buyer? Now, remember, I've got a duty to disclose. So now you are buying it for yourself. In essence, you're buying for yourself already a fine. So you need to deduct that. Even if you plan for future fines, you need to be sure that you control what the fine will be. So this is the way most people look at student accommodation: is they want to buy a house and they want to rent it out. The proper way to do this is, and there's tax incentives as well. So the proper way to actually do this is to buy new development. Okay, there's a tax incentive called Section 13(6) of the that section, and it provides for you to get back up to 55% over 20 years of your initial price. So let's say you bought the property for 1.5, you could get back almost 800k, because that was your initial purchase price, and it's written off of your income tax over 20 years. The trick here is this incentive only kicks in once you've got 5 new builds directly from a developer or through an agent from a developer. So it must be first used and it must be rented. So this incentive only kicks in at property number 5. So if you want to buy them over time, which I would usually suggest, that incentive will only kick in then. But if you approach a developer that is qualified and that's done good work in the past, that has a good reputation, you can buy this and this incentive kicks in immediately. So then I would say proper, because now it is zoned for that density. The units are proper use and you will be making money that way.
All right. Let's look at somebody who's actually, buying his first property, maybe planning to rent it out to students, or they're planning to go student accommodation way. Over and above the pros and cons that you just mentioned, any other thing that you reckon they should be cognizant of?
Well, it's easier to manage 5 properties in one development. Then it is, and you're obviously going to have estate agents as well who own your properties. If you want to do this yourself, it becomes like an Airbnb. It's a full-time job, actually. It's gonna take so much time off you. And now remember, you don't have the knowledge, so you're gonna have to go and research all of these things and hope you don't make a mistake along the way. So it's way easier if you look at what your time value of money is. How much do you earn per hour and how much, probably 10 hours, 20 hours of money. You need to quantify that because that time needs to pay you. It's sometimes a drawback if you want to do something yourself.
I hear you. Philip, I'm going to put you in a bit of a I don't know if you can speak to this, but you know, there's the township way of doing things and the village way of doing things. You know, especially when you're in a township or a village where there's a college nearby, and you know, students need accommodation and all these zoning business and all these things. I don't know the legality if it reaches the township and the. I don't know the legality if it reaches the township and the village. But what I'm saying is, I've seen entrepreneurs in the village and in the property. I don't think those guys are zoned in whatever you just said.
Definitely.
And they are cramming students in a yard, like in jail, like a very small, and they are like walking around like township millionaires.
Yes.
So if someone is looking to go into that space, I don't know how much you can talk into that.
So quite a bit actually. Yeah, it is. It happens. There are some clients, but I'm sitting with a scenario now. Property is generating 18,000 rand a month. We can't sell it for more than 900k.
Sure.
You know, so that's a 9 grand bond. If you could get a bond, but the bank won't touch it because of the zoning, and they know what you're doing with it, and you know, so the bank doesn't want it. So you'll need to borrow equity from another property, buy a property like this for cash, and then generate that income. It's definitely like that, and know the municipal regulations well. This depends. It might be Hoshi land. This depends. It might Hoshi land to begin with.
Yeah.
Then it's cowboy country.
That's what I was about to say. That's some of these entrepreneurs are going the cowboy country route.
You give the chief a commission, you know, on the side.
We see it. We see it. We're not encouraging anything. We're just saying it's happening.
But this is what I'm saying. It's even happening now in municipally controlled and zoned. And this is why this guy was generating 80 grand off property that is across from a school. But it's worth no more than 2 mil to the open market. But it's generating 80 grand. So I said to him, well, what I would suggest is keep that cash cow running. And we legitimize your property portfolio. With that money.
We don't want to get you in hot water. You always give legit advice, and sometimes you come across these guys, and you know what? We won't take you. We'll leave it here. Broker and owner, REMAX, Philip Schema, thank you so much for coming through. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, guys.